Hey, this is Zawadi from the Zawadi Within. Today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about how loving myself improved my life. So, first of all, when I started my self love journey, one of the things that I really noticed was the more I focused on loving myself, the more compassion I had for myself and others. Because a lot of times when people are judgmental, they're actually really judgmental towards themselves. So they're just projecting their self judgment on other people. So when I really started loving myself, I found out that I had so much more compassion, so much more patience, and so much more understanding for other people. Another thing I found out when I started to really focus on loving myself was that I got less offended by others because I realized it wasn't about me. It was really about them, their own self conflict that they had going on. And because they were miserable and unhappy, they were just what's the word? They were just putting that on me because it was a way for them to not deal with what they had going on with themselves. So definitely increased compassion, less I became less likely to be offended, and also I just had a lot more confidence in general because I love myself. I was like, you know what, if somebody dislikes me, that's their problem. I'm not saying that I went out and I was like being rude to other people, but I didn't feel like I needed to live up to other people's expectations. If I wanted to wear something, I wore what I wanted. I never asked anybody, do you like this? Do you think this is okay? No, if I like it, I'm wearing it. If somebody dislikes it, that's their problem. They don't have to wear it. So definitely that, and also just trusting myself, not feeling like I had to run my ideas or my decisions by someone else. If I believed the decision was good, I went along with it. I went and I committed to it. Because the fact is, people, when we ask them for their advice, they're going to give us advice based on their experience and based on what they think is best for us. But at the end of the day, we have to kind of just weigh the advice and see, okay, there's some things that may resonate with us, but we also have to be realistic and see how much of their advice is practical for our life, for our specific situation, because they're not us. We don't have the same personality, we don't have the same background. So we can't do things exactly the way that other people do because we're not them and they're not us. So definitely just learning to trust myself, learning to trust my intuition. That's another thing that really improved the more that I really focused on loving myself was I learned to trust my intuition 100%. When I say 100%, before I've always been very intuitive. I can very easily pick up on other people's feelings, emotions. I can pick up on what they're not saying. Even if they're talking nicely, I can kind of get that vibe. Okay, this person isn't really safe. But before, what I would do was like, something isn't right about this person, but I don't have proof, so I should give them a chance. I shouldn't judge them. I should be kind and compassionate. I do believe you should be kind and compassionate regardless, but I don't believe that you should allow people into your circle when you get a bad feeling about them. So now what I do is if I have a bad feeling about someone, I take a note of that. I never ignore it, and I just wait for them to show me who they really are because I already know it's going to reveal itself. And guess what? It always does. In all 32, almost 32 years of my life, I have never, when I say never, never been wrong. My intuition has never led me astray. So definitely learn to trust yourself. And the more you trust yourself, the more in tune you will become with your intuition. Because that is a gift that every single one of us has. It's just that society teaches us, I think it's more like a masculine thing. If you don't use logic, if you can't logically explain something, and it supposedly isn't right. But that's not always the case. If you have a bad feeling about someone, listen to it. And it may not even be like a bad feeling, it just may be like something is off about that person. And I'll just like take a note of that. And then I'll wait a little bit, couple weeks, couple months, sometimes years, and they will show me who they are. They show me that I was right. I'm like, okay, I knew I was not making this stuff up. So definitely learn to trust your intuition because it will never lead you astray. Another thing that improved once I started to really focus on loving myself is that I had crazy, and I have crazy faith. When I say crazy faith, I mean like I can believe God for anything, to manifest anything. And guess what? I get it because I know I'm going to get it. It's kind of like things that people would think they're just like, oh, that's too much for you. Like, why would you expect something like that? That's just way out of your range. But because I love myself and I know that I'm deserving, I know that I am worthy of every good thing that God has for me, I get it. Like, I'm sure there are people, and I know some people that never would have imagined back when I was staying in that one bedroom at my parents' house that I could have the home that I have today. They would be like, no, that's too much for you. Like, no, no. But when I tell you the details, like the specific details that I believe God for and that I got, like down to like the type of neighborhood, the proximity to my parents, the color of the house, y'all. The color of the house. I love yellow. The house is yellow. The number of bedrooms, like a bedroom that's already kind of set up like an office. That's what my husband wanted. Like just these specific details that we believe God for. He gave them to us because we believe that we were worthy of it. And I especially believe that, like, hey, I know what I want. I told God what I wanted, but I didn't go and like pray and beg him for it. I told him what I wanted. I believed him for it and I left it there. And guess what? He came through. So, yes, when I learned to love myself, I got amazing, just crazy faith because I believed that I was worthy of it. And a lot of times I think we don't have a great amount of faith because we don't believe that we are worthy of it. And when we love ourselves the way that God loves us. He looks at us and say that you are perfect because I made you in my image. God's image is perfection. We are a reflection of his glory. So why wouldn't we be deserving of every good thing that he has for us? So definitely just learning, I'm looking at my notes here, learning to trust my intuition, having crazy faith, having more compassion and understanding for others, not being easily offended, and also just learning how to like prioritize self-care. Like some people may think like, oh, that's superficial, but the thing is, the way we treat ourselves is a reflection of how we feel about ourselves. If we don't take time for ourselves, it's because in our mind, our subconscious minds, we don't think we are worthy of that. Like right now, I just came back from a walk. That's why you see me in a t-shirt. You normally see me in a t-shirt, but I just came from doing a little exercise. But yes, when we take care of ourselves, it is a reflection of how we feel about ourselves because our bodies are our temples. So definitely learning to prioritize my self-care, learning that I'm worthy because I have 3 children. And sometimes it's easy when you have young children to kind of like just focus on taking care of them and forget about yourself as a mom or a parent. But our children need us also to take care of ourselves because how will we be able to show up for them if we're falling apart, if our health is falling apart, if we don't think we're deserving of care? How can we model that to our children? So definitely just learning to take time for me, not just physically, but also mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Sometimes I just have to tell my kids, like, look, mommy just needs 5 minutes. I just need 5 minutes of just peace and quiet. And if they're still wilding out, I'll just go to my room, close the door, and have 5 minutes to just calm myself, to just kind of sit with myself and see, like, how am I doing today? How am I feeling? And to be compassionate towards myself, to speak kindly to myself. Because the thing is, the way we speak to ourselves, it reinforces beliefs that we have about ourselves. And the beliefs that we have about ourselves are reflected back to us or mirrored back to us in how people treat us. Because if we don't think we're worthy, other people will treat us as if we're not worthy. But when you're worthy and you know you're worthy, people know better. They don't just roll up on you and treat you any kind of way because they know you are not the one. They know. So the more that I learn to love myself, the more I realize, like, look, this disrespect that someone's doing, I love them, I respect them, but I'm not going to entertain that. I do not associate with them. They cross the line, it's over, the end. If there's somebody who's mature and that I love, I will talk to them and we'll have a conversation. We will communicate and we'll come to an understanding because I don't believe in just cutting people off the first time that they just offend you. But they're different kind of people. Like they're people that you know, okay, this is the person that I already have a relationship with. They're kind of compassionate. I don't think they would have done that intentionally, but we need to communicate the fact that they've crossed a boundary so that we can heal our relationship. Now, there are other people that I don't even know them well. If they treat me disrespectfully, I'm like, okay, I'm an acquaintance and you're treating me like this. I don't even want to get to know you because if this is how you treat people you barely know, I I don't want to see how you treat people that are close to you. I have no desire. So definitely just learning to establish boundaries. That was like one of the biggest things that I learned when I learned to really love myself is establishing my boundaries, saying, this, I'm a nice person, I'm a naturally nice person, I'm a naturally kind person, but I will not tolerate disrespect. And neither should you. No one should tolerate disrespect from anybody. That is unacceptable. Now, we are adults. If someone offends us, we should be able to communicate. But if that person is unwilling to communicate, do not waste your time with them. They are not worth it. Because you are worthy of every good thing that God has for you. You are worthy of good relationships. You are worthy of kind and compassionate friends, family members. You are worthy of having good health and taking time for yourself. Like, it's not bad to take time for yourself. I used to feel guilty. I'm like, oh, I should be over there doing something for my kids. And yes, my kids do deserve a lot from me, but I also am important. I also deserve care. I also deserve time. And you do too. Each and every one of us are worthy of love, time, and care because we are created in God's images. Like, we deserve the best simply because we exist. And the best for everybody is different. Different people have different desires for what they want for their life. But the best that God has for you, you are worthy and deserving of it. I do not subscribe to this like I'm unworthy business. No. If I'm a child of God, I am entitled to every good thing that he has because I'm his kid. My kids don't live with me and have a decent life because I'm doing them a favor. No, they have good things because they're my children and I love them. And I believe the same thing with our relationship with God. I'm his child. He loves me. So I deserve what's good because I'm his child, period. And you, the fact that you're a human being, even if you're not religious, the fact that you're a human being, you are deserving of love and respect simply because you exist. That's it. You're a human being. You deserve love, respect, time, and care simply because you exist. So I just want you to go and have a wonderful day. And remember, you are worthy, you are deserving, and you are loved. Have a good day. Bye.